Welcome back. Okay, last time we did Battle of Plank Harbor, which was a kind of more unique Category 3 Atlas mission because of the completely unique environment and map. Wasn't that hard, and I feel like I kind of underbuilt for that one, to be fair, in a way. Next up, we've got Safe Harbor, which will take a while, it looks like. So we need to save 15 survivors in successful missions and complete and evacuate the shelter mission in a 40 plus zone. So I guess from here on, we're no longer in 34 zones and we're moving up to 40. So in a regular rescue the survivors mission, you can rescue like 9 survivors. So if we do 2 of those, we get 18, which is more than enough, realistically, because we only need 15. And then an evacuate the shelter mission. I'm wondering if I should separate this into like 2 episodes or if I should just try to do one. Let's see, do we have a power 40 evacuate the shelter? We do, and it does not have a mini boss, which is going to make it quite easy to solo. I'm gonna want my grenade launcher ready for spawn. Okay, so immediately we spawn and we need to run over to the survivor shelter. Have we done evacuate the shelter before? Because I feel like I can remember doing it on this account. Wrong controls. Oh, oh, hey. I didn't read how many enemies I need to do, but when you do these solo, you need less enemies to kill at the beginning phase here. So the entire time we have with the shelter charging is time to just prepare. And I don't quite know where enemies are going to come from yet. They can also maybe, I don't remember if they can switch sides and spawns in evac the shelter, to be honest. But I guess we're going to find out. Because I don't think I'm going to prepare for it. I think I'm just gonna do something that doesn't require nearly as much effort. Oh yeah, wait, we can do this now. I was just thinking like, how am I gonna get up here now? And then I was like, no, we can do that there. And base place. Oh, cool. So we know they are coming from northeast, and I think no, that's a patrol. Okay, so they're mostly just coming from this way. Okay, that's not the worst. I can work with that. Since a large portion of their spawns, well, they're all up around there. It's possible they can also want to come down this way. I can't really say for certain whether they will or will not try to use this way, to be honest. So I'm gonna prepare for that anyways. Then going back to up here. Uh, hmm. I mean, it didn't say they were gonna potentially swap spawns or rotate or anything, so I might just build under the assumption that they're not going to. I don't actually like doing that because 90% of the time I'm wrong. Actually, I sincerely doubt I'm going to need wall darts there, but I will place them there for no reason at all. And then I suspect a bit more like enemies are going to try to come this way, but that's only because they do have spawns down here as well. I am messing up controls a lot, but that's because I don't play on this account as much as I use my main account, where I have different controls, and I'm still, as usual, too lazy to actually change them, even though I could have done that at any point and matched the controls. My anti-airs aren't great, but I feel like I'm going to need at least 4 for the very top of the shelter. I'm going to run up there. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is just because I kind of suspect I'm going to see lobbers, flingers, or anything else that'll throw, but I can't guarantee that is actually going to happen. That's a guess. And like I said, I don't know if enemies are going to change spawns either, so I'm kind of guessing on that as well. This is not going to be the strongest tunnel, so maybe I can adapt that a bit considering the power level of this zone. It's like I need enemies to die from the tunnel. That's like my biggest and kind of only advantage I have like right now is the fact that I can build good tunnels. And we've got about 45 seconds until the shelters actually until the defense starts automatically. I should probably take this time to kind of double check and overlook things. But hey, there's chests and other stuff I can loot in here, so I'll do that first. Nothing fancy, just some cheap block off that I'm going to use. I'm going to try to make sure I'm not over there as well. Tarp it. Okay, well, I underestimated my tunnel, I think. Seems to be doing pretty good, but I guess this covers me a little bit more for durability-wise. And it looks like, as I did not expect, they are hardly actually going this way. I could have blocked that off. Why don't I ever think? Oh well. Reality is I tend to not really think about things like that, and I end up building for even a direction they're not going to really try to come from at all. I bet if I just kind of, if I were over here, yeah. If I'm over here, it'll lead some enemies over this way, and I may as well just try to let this tunnel do something, just so I can say it wasn't useless. Hey, get back here. All right, whatever. Okay, so we do have enemies reaching the tar pits, which is not a good sign. The tar pit was mostly for like a smasher or something, and not for these. And there goes the tar pit. Slowing pool, wall weakening, ice storm. Okay, so yeah, so it was nothing like complex or anything that would really mess with how I can deal damage to enemies in a way. So it was not a big deal at all. And I feel like I've kind of overbuilt now that I look back at the modifiers that I have. Wondering if I should do that. That. I'm covering at least like the majority of the shelter, maybe all of it. Actually, could be all of it. No, not these 3 tiles and probably the walls on that end, but that's fine. I'm covering a large enough majority of it while also covering the tunnel. Using a fire grenade launcher against water element enemies. The dart should still be able to shoot through that. Maybe somewhere in the future I'll try to get energy on this thing, so then it'll be more effective regardless of the element of the enemies that we have. Quick material grab, and then let's try to get out of here. By the way, never stand in on or like near your tunnels during defenses. I'm only doing this because I think it's better gameplay wise, but it's typically how your tunnels end up getting destroyed by propanes and smashers or enemies that are changing their AI based on how like where you are. That's why everyone says not to. I'm doing it because I'm playing by myself, and I already don't expect there to be any propane right now because I haven't seen even a husky husk. This is more expensive than what my original plan was, but this is also probably better than my original plan in terms of how quickly enemies are dying. My original plan was going to be to just kind of line the walls here with traps and not build any kind of block off or tunnels. Instead, I mean, I spent a bit more like material in general, but I also ended up with a pretty decent defense. And we saw that flinger. Glad I killed him. And see, I knew that was going to happen in a way because I was like, I need to make sure that I have anti-airs. Lobbers and flingers are like they're really quick to be able to take your like defense from going well to in danger, just because of how quickly they can throw and how like how much damage their stuff does when they hit structures. So typically, I would say you want to deal with them like as soon as possible. Because the sooner they're dealt with, the sooner they're not a problem. The sooner they're not a problem, the quicker you can kind of just maintain your structures. Thankfully, since I'm using base Kyle, I kind of had an advantage in that my structures had a lot of health, and they couldn't destroy it. That went really well. I mean, I guess it's not necessarily. I guess I had modifiers that didn't really make it difficult. I didn't have anything like exploding death bomb or like frenzied death burst that allows enemies to heal like whenever they die near another enemy that or whenever an enemy dies, the other one's around to heal. Like I didn't have anything like that. So those modifiers were very simple, very easy, no mini boss. All went pretty smooth. Not even a smasher, now that I think about it. We've got tons of battle pass XP as usual. 7,600. No, that's 76,000. I don't know what that was for. I didn't read it. Box monster water. That was related to just eliminating water enemies or collecting data from water enemies or something. I don't know. I didn't read what that quest did in the quest log. Right. So now you can see we've done evacuate the shelter mission in a 40 plus zone. We've also apparently saved survivors. I don't recall saving 4 survivors. I mean, I hardly spent any time away from the shelter. So now we need 11 survivors, and I assume it has to be a 40 zone, but I don't know that. Funny enough, I need to rescue survivors for a daily quest. As I've explained many times, I don't really target or really try to do my daily quests on this account. I just kind of, when they happen, they happen. Anyways, back to where we were, Safe Harbor. So we did the evacuate the shelter mission already, and now we need to do 15 survivors. We somehow have progress doing 4 survivors, even though I am quite certain during the actual like evacuate the shelter mission, I did not rescue survivors. I don't understand how that happened. And now, before we actually do anything, this is kind of unrelated, but do I really need double durability gas traps at this level? No, I don't. I would actually vastly prefer something else. And I mean, I can change one perk. We'll keep the gray durability. I would actually rather some damage. See, that's a lot better. I mean, these perks aren't great either, but like, you know, it's what I can do right now. And I'll change those again in the future. In the meantime, actually, let's just level that up to where we can. Power 48 because I'm just too poor to actually be able to afford fully leveling it up. And I assume it has to be a power 40 zone, but it does not have to be a rescue the survivors mission. You just have to rescue survivors, even in regular missions. Actually, should we see if I can just do it in a 28 zone? Is there even survivors in a higher level zone? Not really. No, not really. There actually isn't. I mean, there's a 34 zone. So, rescue survivors mission, you can typically rescue a maximum of 9 survivors, which is not the amount that we need. We need 11 survivors still. But if I do 9, and then if I do 9 here, then I only need to do 2 more in a different mission, which I can handle that. I don't know if there's like, because it doesn't mention like in whatever power level zones. So I want to assume that you don't have to do it in a 40 zone. So that's why I'm going to try it in a 34 zone right now, but it could potentially work in lower level zones. I will not confirm that because I'm not testing that. I am disregarding the dialogue that's happening because I don't know what it's for. I believe it's event related, but I don't know what event and why it's happening. So I typically play with the dialogue off. The only reason why it's on is because I'm playing the campaign, and I want to hear the campaign audio just as much as I think is important for the video series to have the campaign audio. I mean, that counted for my survivors, obviously. And I'm gonna grab any of these birds that I can because easy, free, sometimes every once in a while, kind of decent weapons. Like, don't mind if I do. And I mean, even if they're not as good as your own stuff, just recycle them, free material, to make your own stuff. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, Rescue the Survivors doesn't have rewards for when you rescue the survivors. Rescuing survivors outside of Rescue the Survivors missions, they do actually give rewards. I don't know why they did this, to be honest, because Build the Radar, for example, you get rewards whether you're actually in a Build the Radar mission or not. Okay, this is, and you're gonna want a med kit. That's great. That's great. All right, where is it? It's over there, not too far. Oh, hey. Yeah, yeah, I see it. Just need the med kit first. Oh yeah, I forgot I had keep out on this build. It's not the most ideal for a build specializing in ranged weapons, but it's decent pretty early game, I would say. Because that'll help just deal some damage over time to the enemies here. And all those extra explosions not related to keep out also kind of helps. Nice. And now back to, he's invincible, by the way. How do I get out of here? This, there. Okay. I'm not gonna bother fighting the encampment because I'm just trying to speedrun survivors in a way. And if I can get 9 here, that'll save me. That'll hypothetically not save me time at all. Now that I think about it a little bit more, because either way, I'm gonna end up having to play another mission for a whopping 2 survivors. Great, another medkit. I will come back to that. I heard there was a survivor in danger. Oh crap! Oh, there he is. Okay, now medkit. Don't tell me it's down. Oh, thank God. I do not want to go into. I did not want to have to run around. This place has like just like a deep, deep basement full of warehouse shelves. This is a fun trick I do sometimes. If you put a ceiling electric over them, then the ceiling electric can still help you clear out enemies. It's just not going to be that effective, especially not when you use my crappy schematic for one that has very mediocre 2 perks or whatever. But sometimes you just got to do it. Not only was that not 9 survivors, but why am I at 103%? That makes no goddamn sense. But you know what? Maybe it's that it could be that bug where survivors like the count is double. I have not been paying attention, and I will look back in footage to while I'm editing this later to actually see if that's what's happening. I actually have no damn clue, but I would not be surprised if that was happening. Because it's always one of those things where you don't notice when it's happening unless you're really, really keeping an eye on things. And I was only looking at like gameplay. I wasn't looking at the progress number. But hey, I mean that's technically still in my advantage because we may be at 103%, but what this means is I don't have to do a second mission after this for just 2 survivors, which is a really good thing now that I think about it because I didn't really want to do that. All right, I'm still not really sure why I or why the survivors were cleared that quickly. Considering I got 4 in the first mission, and I can't even recall even rescuing a survivor. Maybe I could have done 1. I actually don't even know if I did that. But considering that, and considering how quickly I seemingly was just flying through them in the rescue of the survivors mission, despite my still technically incorrect math, because I have bad memory, uh, I they might have been counting as doubles or something. I don't know. When I'm editing this, I will find out, and I will probably have already figured this out in editing. Just there's a difference between me playing right now and me watching back this footage next week or whenever I choose to edit this. Bunch of XP as per usual with Save the World stuff.
I never thought I'd see my family again. I don't even know how to thank you.
Go back to base. See your family. You've earned it.
Hold on.
Yes, I know that sound. That was the sound of the objective is taking damage. Okay, that was my daily quest for exploration party. Like I said, I don't try to target these things. I wait for them to happen naturally. I knew I only needed to explore 1 more zone, and I did that because rescue the survivors. You do a lot of running. Was that the survivors daily quest as well? Because they were counting as doubles. Because there's no way I got that many. Hey, I'll take it. And alert rewards.
Commander, we've got an unidentified craft in our airspace. It looks like a research balloon, but it's completely unresponsive. Okay, let's see what we're dealing with.
Okay, let's just take a real quick look here. Yeah. So I guess I did actually encounter that bug where the survivors are counting as doubles or something. That's still my guess right now. I will, like I said, I'll know this for sure when I actually edit the video. Anyways, we got this blue lead survivor. Not, I don't know, not this, but we got that one. I recycled the one I just got because it's not in squads right now. Ideally, I need to have a lot more of these like leveled up and 2-star, which I mean a lot of them aren't. And then I really need something for this slot that's not green. And I need to get rid of a lot of these blues and make them purple or gold. which you can't directly upgrade the rarity of survivors, which kind of sucks in a way because it makes it a little bit harder to actually like get the right things. Actually, I should be focusing on the leads, but I think they're all no, most of them. And there goes a large portion of well, I don't have Survivor XP anymore, but I'm getting close to level 33. I need to get to like 34 to 40-ish range